There's a grand opening celebration next week to mark the completion of I-69 from Crane to Bloomington. The 27-mile stretch was originally slated to open last year. INDOT hasn't said exactly when it will open to motorists, but the ceremony is scheduled for Wednesday. Meanwhile, construction is already underway on the next section of the interstate, which connects Bloomington to Martinsville. The route the road will take from there is still up in the air. INDOT hosted a series of public meetings this week to get input from residents. Barbara Brozier joins us again to pick up that part of the story.
Well, Joe, 5 options are on the table for Section 6. The meetings gave residents a chance to get a closer look at the proposals, and many were upset by what they saw. When James Baker moved to his rural Mooresville home 3 years ago, he thought he was here for good.
I didn't want to move anymore. I wanted to be out in the country.
With a large pond in his backyard and plenty of room for the dogs to play, his home has become his sanctuary.
It's just peaceful. I love it out here.
But he's worried about the possibility of a new, unwelcome neighbor moving in.
It's sad. It's really, really sad.
The Indiana Department of Transportation is considering 5 alternative routes for I-69 Section 6, the final leg of the interstate that, when finished, will connect Evansville to Indianapolis. The routes go through Martinsville and branch off to connect to I-70 or I-465. Mooresville residents are most concerned about routes INDOT has labeled B and D.
The D route would come right through, right through our house. And it would take over just everything. It was just devastating when I found that out.
That route would impact homes and businesses. The Cheetah Preservation Research Center sits in the same neighborhood as Baker's home and provides a safe haven for wild cats who have been abandoned.
We've taken in approximately 25 African servals and bobcats in this time period, within the last 25 years.
It's a labor of love for Bob Turner, who built this facility himself. But now he's worried about the future of his feline haven.
If Route D comes through our facility, we're basically going to be putting these cats to sleep because there's nowhere to relocate them. And we physically can't rebuild a facility in the short time that the DOT requires you to do.
Residents echoed those sentiments during this week's public meeting at Mooresville High School.
If I-69 comes through, it's all gone. And now at retirement age, I'm retired and my husband is near. At retirement age, relocating is just something you don't want to do.
So many people showed up that the presentation had to be moved to the high school gymnasium.
This is probably one of the largest turnouts we've had.
Those who spoke out expressed concerns and urged INDOT to choose the route that would go along existing State Road 37.
I have strong concerns with preliminary routes B, D, K3, and K4 due to the potential negative impact on the Mooresville schools.
But INDOT says it has to look at the whole picture.
There are so many factors that we take into consideration when we're looking at these different routes and which route is the most feasible route. One of those being the human impact. So when we talk about human impacts, we're talking about schools, we're talking about access for emergency services and homes and people getting access to their homes if they're impacted by one of those routes.
INDOT is also weighing the cost and potential environmental impacts of each route. The agency will accept public comments through December 17th, and officials say the feedback they receive will play a large role in the final decision.
Some of the responses that we've been getting so far is people emailing us, calling us, stopping by our project office to either say which route they prefer or if they're looking at an interchange or overpass, kind of giving us some feedback on that as well as access.
Back in this Mooresville neighborhood, signs lining the road point to what residents think is a clear decision. They won't know until INDOT makes a final decision in 2018 whether they'll get to stay or have to go.
Our options right now, I really don't see any options. If they stay on 37 like everyone's hoping, then I think everything will be okay. But if they deviate one way or another going with another alternate route, it's going to upset a lot of things.
estimate how they would.
People can submit their comments to INDOT via email, online, or in person at the I-69 Section 6 office in Martinsville. Once the comment period closes, the agency will start sorting through all of that feedback. INDOT plans to make a route recommendation in 2017 with a final decision expected the following year. They're not sure how many homes or businesses could be impacted.
Okay, thank you very much, Barbara.